Welcome back to another episode of Roguecraft. Today I'm switching things up. Usually this data pack is about surviving for as long as possible and pushing each run to its limit. But let's be honest, it has become quite easy to beat every run as I have gotten kinda overpowered. So this time I'm putting the creative aspect into focus by building a house in the infinite garden. And without further ado, grab some snacks, stay hydrated. Thank you so much for watching in the first place and enjoy the video. Very well, I have now updated this data pack to the newest version. This means there are now icons for all the abilities, new items and even a new boss. I am super excited to check out everything that's new. Anyways, last time I unlocked the Reaper class and it's time to put it to the test. The Reaper class replaces the sword as the main weapon for a scythe and the mana for soul charges. Every mob I kill gives me a soul charge. Using these, I can launch a homing projectile that seems to deal a ton of damage. Also, there is a new item, Mob Essence. Essentially, when a mob is killed, it drops Mob Essence. And these come in different qualities. The qualities are lower, common, higher, and ascended essence. These can be used with skill gems, just like the ores, to craft skill points. Throughout the next couple of runs, I won't focus on beating the dragon, but solely on gathering all the blocks for the house. Well then, let's start by grabbing spruce logs as I need lots of them. Here's some sand for glass. Damn, this is insanely strong. Not only does it track mobs, but it also fills up my soul charges again. Scrolls have been added in this update as well. These are essentially one-time use abilities, perfect for testing out abilities that you haven't unlocked yet. Great, there's a lush cave, which helps me get closer to my goal since I need moss as of itself and some more for mossy cobblestone. Then I made the crushing realization that I need silk touch for a few things. Since you can't craft any tools, enchanting would be quite challenging and trading with villagers is always a pain. But for now, the leaves of the azalea trees I can simply obtain with shears, unlike some other blocks. Anyways, mining with the drill ability makes gathering blocks a lot faster. However, since it uses soul charges, I can only drill so much until they're depleted. Other classes use mana, which regenerates passively. I should probably switch back to the tank class for resource collection. Let's pick up some moss and there's a mine shaft. Another new item added are mana potions. As you can probably guess, they restore mana. Also, shields cannot be crafted anymore. After grabbing more wood, I crafted skill points using the mob essence. Soon after, I came across a geode. This was a great find as I need calcite as well. Let's make a nether portal right here. Getting bone blocks is also very much needed for all the wood related blocks. This way I only need saplings and not stacks of logs in my inventory. Then I was messing around with my class ability. Shift right clicking switches the ability to phantasm. This consumes 3 max soul charges permanently, but in turn I get a floating orb that follows me around and attacks any mob that I attack. After collecting some quartz, I left the nether and found some pumpkins for a snow golem to get infinite snow. Well then, let's focus on the new boss. I can simply follow the compass to a villager outpost, obtain an ominous bottle and use the compass again to find a village. Well, this is a useless village. Let's start the raid and not mess up like I did a few episodes back. Since I am a little overpowered, this shouldn't be too hard. Alright, the giant spawned somewhere. There he is. Yeah, I told you I was OP. Let's end the run here, as I don't care about skill points or beating the run for now. Okay then, let's check on the seals as I defeated another boss. And this icon leads me to believe that there is a multi-tool. Yes sir. This saves me a few inventory slots during my run since I can essentially throw out my other tools. Let's claim my items from the run and dump them into a chest. As mentioned earlier, I should switch my class back to the tank because of the passive mana regeneration. This makes the drill ability much more useful. Quick intermission, the Roguecraft series might be coming to an end within the next few videos. So far, I had a blast with this data pack, but if any of you have a favorite mod pack or data pack that I could play, I'd appreciate it if you let me know down in the comments. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. I want to hit 1,000 subscribers this year. Anyways, back to the video. Jumping into the second run, let's streamline for resources until my inventory is full. I still need plenty of sand and clay. Tons of leather for a stack of lecterns, For all the smelting, I will also need a bunch of coal. Another resource I need is wool. I definitely didn't kill this golem for his remains, and with my magically new acquired iron, I made some shears and deconstructed the tents. As for honeycomb, needed to wax copper blocks, I tried to grab this bee nest, but without silk touch, that is impossible. So I will leave that issue for future me. Yeah, my superpower is procrastination. Anyways, let me grab some other blocks, and here we go. My inventory is already full, no point in staying any longer. Once again, let's reclaim my items and then dump them into this chest. Smelt all this copper and spawn a snow golem for infinite snow. Before I start my next run, I'll organize a chest for the required blocks as well as craft as many blocks as I can. That way I know exactly what I have left to collect during the next run, and that will be the basic gameplay loop for the next few runs. Here you can see how many stacks of each block I need. The snowballs are just placeholders for blocks I don't have at all, like dark oak. Starting my third run, I noticed something. I have been here before. A previous run of mine spawned me in this exact same location. So there's probably a fixed number of spawns for all the runs. Anyways, let's mine some of the ores. Let me also grab some tuff, which apparently doesn't exist. Oh, there it is. Since my inventory is basically full already, I'll get some sand and clay, as well as use my ender pearls to travel quicker. If I could come across a dark oak forest, that would be greatly appreciated. Well, it was worth a shot. Geronimo! Oh, that's awkward. Here we go. Let's collect our items, smelt down the ores, don't forget to expand the sugarcane farm, and spread out the copper blocks for oxidization. Because crafting is always the same and not all too interesting to watch, let's get it over with in a short montage. It's looking pretty good so far. Slowly but surely we're getting there. Since I ran out of bone meal, I couldn't quite finish all the oak and birch or the mud bricks, but that's alright. Nothing another trip to a Soul Sand Valley can't fix. Also, I calculated that I need 39 honeycomb for waxing the copper blocks. This would be a massive pain to farm within a run, and to get a bee nest to the infinite garden, I'd need silk touch to collect it. Anyways, let's start another run. This run brought me back to the very first spawn. All I remember is that run ended really abruptly. Anyways, I don't think I'll be able to get much of the other resources here, so I'll collect the remaining sand and then enter the nether for quartz and bone blocks. Wait, how much quartz do I actually need? 38 stacks. Wow, I didn't think it was going to be that much. Well, at least Fortune 5 is going to make this a lot easier. Since I was already next to a fortress, I decided to defeat the wildfire. This would give me 10 skill points I could spend on some upgrades. Let's also craft all the mob essence into skill points as well. Anyways, back on track with the quartz. And with 45 skill points and a full inventory, let's return to the garden. This was a pretty straightforward run, so I'll save the crafting for after the next run. And all I really need is some dark oak saplings, honeycomb and quartz. But the latter I'll do in a separate run. Anyways, let's get started. For getting the honeycomb, I could maybe loot a trial chamber, since they have honeycomb for some reason. I remember this from the hardcore series when I was looking for Windcharge 3, that there was plenty of honeycomb. However, to find a trial chamber, it's probably best if I trade with a cartographer for a map. Alright, are there any better trades? Apparently no. Let's leave this village and travel for a bit. This gives me an opportunity to not only grab sugarcane along the way, but also find a dark oak forest. I also need some more clay for bricks. Look at all these cows. Would be a shame if anything happened to them. Oh, there it is. I found a dark oak forest. Finally. Alright, that's one worry off of my shoulders. Okay, this should be plenty of saplings. Maybe it's a better idea to use a Fletcher to get emeralds and trade those with the cartographer to level him up. Very well, over there's a village, and this guy doesn't want a job. Amazing. Here we go. And this guy is doing the same thing. This is exactly why I wanted to avoid trading with villagers. Finally. Okay, he's out of stock. How much XP is this gonna give me? Not a lot. Great. That means this will take forever. Okay, I've boxed them in, so they're safe. Alright, he's level 2 now, only one more level, and we'll see whether we get the trade, as it is not guaranteed. Let's get sand for glass panes. Here we go, and... No, that's the wrong trade, my guy. Well then, let's do it all over again, I guess. First, let's get the iron and redstone for the compass. Some smelting and trading later, we get our trade. Quickly follow the map, and here it is. Let's see how many honeycombs I'll get. Yep, that's it. A haul of 5 honeycomb. All of that trading was practically for nothing. Maybe it would be easier to get silk touch and mine a few bee nests instead. In retrospect, this would have been much smarter to do from the get-go. Slowly, I'm also losing health because the difficulty keeps increasing. For now, let's store the clay in here to make some room in my inventory. Okay, I hope 44 emeralds is enough for silk touch. I don't know the average price for it, so that will have to be enough. Well then, let's re-roll trades. Silk touch for 18 emeralds? Yes, sir. And here it is. Now, I was in a little bit of a pickle. All my tools have fortune, meaning I can't put silk touch on any of them. Also, tools cannot be crafted, so I will have to find tools as loot, as for example, a blacksmith or a ruined portal. And yes, I could have just unenchanted a tool with a grindstone, but my brain is sometimes not braining. However, I had another idea after looting 2 more villages without a blacksmith. Let's just trade with a toolsmith. For that, I need iron once more, for the smithing table, as well as an anvil to apply the enchanted book. There's some iron. Let's just take care of that creeper. Yep, that happened. I was actually crashing out. All of that just for it to go down the drain. I wasn't able to get silk touch on a tool and collect a bee nest. Remember, I cannot bring that silk touch book into another run, so I would have to do everything all over again. Maybe like the video and subscribe for my suffering. Desperately, I was looking for solutions. I still had 5 honeycombs from the trial chamber. This is enough to craft a beehive, but this won't have any bees inside. Since there are mobs spawning in the infinite garden, maybe there are bees as well. After a quick Google search, there aren't. At least I have a silk touch book to gather grass blocks, which I also could have spread using dirt blocks. And if you haven't been screaming at me all this time in the comments, I finally remembered something that will make all the silk touch or trial chambers completely unnecessary. Yeah, by simply growing an oak tree with a flower next to it, it has a chance to generate a bee nest. It was this easy all along. Well then, I guess this issue is now sorted and I can focus solely on the quartz. Before that, let's do some crafting. I breeded the bees and let them collect honey while I crafted the rest of the blocks. I removed the podzol and restored the area. I also brought over 2 cows to breed in case I don't have enough leather. Very well, I have every single block crafted except some smooth quartz blocks. It's time for the final run of this episode. Let's get some coal as well, as I need to smelt the quartz blocks into their smooth counterpart. Also iron for the anvil, since I failed to do that last run. That way I can grab grass blocks instead of spreading it through dirt. Alright, let's look for a lava pool to go to the nether. Let me grab some sugarcane along the way to speed up the process of growing more in the garden. And here we go. Okay, this isn't the best biome for quartz, but it should do the trick. There's a fortress. Maybe I should grab some skill points by defeating the wildfire. And this is when I realized I forgot to spend my skill points from the last run. This means I lost them. Anyways, let's not dwell on it and get back on track. This was a pretty straightforward run. Let's end it here and finally get to building the house. Before I forget again, let me spend my skill points on food, sharpness 6, soul speed 1 and speed 4. Well then, let me smelt this and collect some grass blocks. Fix it up again and collect the final pieces of honeycomb. I relocated and expanded the sugarcane farm to get all the paper for the remaining lecterns. And at long last, I have everything I need for the house in the infinite garden. Let me just quickly move the items and get straight to building. Alright, the house is now fully built. I think it looks pretty good with the texturing and detailing. Granted, I am not a builder, but I am happy with the way it turned out. There is no interior though. I really struggled to decorate the inside of any of my builds, but I was okay with calling it quits after designing only the outside. Maybe I will continue this in a future episode. As for the rest of the blocks, they are stored back in here. Before I end the video, I quickly wanted to apologize for the long delay of this video. I've been pouring all my energy into the next hardcore video, which really wore me down, and I had some IRL stuff to deal with. Thank you all for your patience and for sticking around. Anyways, thank you so much for watching until the very end. Hit that subscribe button to not miss any content. I hope you enjoyed the video as always, and I will see you next time.